Hi, and welcome to this week's Auspicious Agile. This is John Okoro. This week we're going to talk about design thinking. If you remember back in the universe of Agile methods, we talked about many different Agile methods, and one of them being design thinking. Now, I say Agile here in quotes and with a small a, and I say that because Agile in this case is because of these things that are similar, things like a fast feedback loop, working closely with customers, and reflecting and responding and adapting based on that reflection. So those are some of the things that are very common here in design thinking. And let's take a closer look. We're going to start first with immersion. And also thanks to a couple of sources, including the Nobi Design Thinking course and the contributors to the LinkedIn Design Thinking groups as well. So immersion is where we start by looking at the macro or the big picture. We're looking at the different trends and things. We're understanding the market and thinking about the why that is behind what we're doing. So why do we actually want to pursue something, and why do we want to make a particular change, or why do we want to work on a certain thing? We also set the scope of the work we're going to do, and then get a big picture and basically a macro level view of what it is that we're going to work on. So this is really our starting point, and we have the big picture, and we know the why, and we learned about the why of what we're going to do. So this is immersion. Different organizations may give it different names. And then we go to our second step in design thinking, and this is ethnography, or some might call it discover, as the Awaken group describes it. Ethnography, we're looking at understanding stakeholders in a subject matter. We want to understand and gain empathy for the stakeholders and understand insights into them from a micro level, really getting details on what it is that they do, understanding that user, understanding their experience, and how we can create a solution that solves the needs that they have and their opportunities. So we do the looking really closely and understanding the needs of our user or of our customer, our client, if you will. And so at this point, we're taking a micro view and really doing the ethnography, understanding who they are. So this is our second step, and again, it varies from different organizations, but this is a fairly general second step in design thinking. Third, we go on to what we call ideating. So the idea is ideating, some call it conceptualization as well. Here, we start to actually co-create the solution with the client. So we work with them to generate different ideas. We look at combining ideas systematically and getting the concepts and different opportunities. So we're looking and we're talking, we're exploring different ideas and potential ways, and we're talking with different customers and maybe figuring out different things that they think would be nice, useful, would be good features or ways to incorporate. And we're thinking through with them and coming up with different ideas and uncovering possible solutions for the design, and stretching the imagination and having discussions. So this is ideating. This is really going through and coming up with lots of different ideas and putting things out there and seeing what different things we can work on and seeing what ideas we can come up with. So that's the third part of this process of design thinking. Now, fourth, we're going to go to prototyping. So when we start to prototype, now it's time for us to start to validate some of our assumptions, to start to get an idea of what concepts and ideas we may make a low fidelity prototype. So we have different little prototypes we might be doing, whether we're working on a new model of a car, a new consumer device, a new computer device, a new dress or fashion design, or whatever it may be. We're starting with low fidelity prototypes. Again, we're working closely with the user. We're doing it at low cost. We're not spending a lot of money on this, but it saves us time, it saves us money and resources, helps us to understand what works and what doesn't work. And the prototypes are always including the user, so we can get feedback from them. Again, very similar with all Agile methods, that we're looking at you working very closely with the user, getting that feedback and understanding to gain understanding. Now we go on to our fifth step, which is evaluation. So now we are evaluating. We are going to look through. We got a lot of different ideas that we've come up with. We've been ideating before and prototyping, and now we actually have a lot of ideas. So we're going to start to filter through those ideas. We're going to put them through our funnel and select ideas based on the client's objectives and what they hope to do and what potential impacts there might be. So we have different ideas that are done here. We have a lot of different ones that we have come up with. And now we're going to filter these down and figure out what meets the objectives, the strategic objectives of a customer, the user, and what potential impact. So we are going to now come up with some ideas and filter them down to the ones that we are going to select and those ideas. So now we're going to come to the sixth and the final step in a design thinking process, which is the synthesis or synthesizing and making sense of the different insights or figuring out. We come up with a lot of insights, and we really need to come back and bring them back to, we had a big picture vision to start, right? So we knew we wanted to do something, we wanted to achieve some goal, we knew the why and the big picture, the macro picture. And we went through a lot of ideating and coming up with different ideas. And we went through a lot of coming up with low fidelity prototypes and going through all those different things. And so now what we want to do is we want to pull those back in. We want to say, does all of that work and research and ideas and insights, do they actually tie back to the original vision statement, to the design and the idea and concept that we had initially? So this is synthesis. And then we see, can we reframe and come up with new opportunities or needs based on what we've done in the design thinking process. This is actually quite similar to retrospecting, maybe in a Scrum or an Agile process, by the way, where we're looking back and tying things back and then seeing where we can go from there as well. So similarity there as well. So hopefully this is a useful look for you into design thinking, and hopefully some good food for thought. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay agile.